What's going on, dudes and dudettes out there? Mr. Dave hanging out in my office on a Sunday. Hope you had a good Easter. That was last weekend. Pardon me while I get oriented here a little bit. Sometimes the spirit moves me to go live and talk about stuff. Sometimes I do a little preparation and think a little bit about what's the item I want to speak about. And in this case, I've just had the spirit talk to me about the subject today that I just want to chat a little bit about and just see what your thoughts are on it. The importance of forgetting. One of the things I've noticed in my life, and I've seen it in family members and friends as well, is some of the stuff that happens to us in our lives is so painful and so traumatic that it ends up haunting us. It gets the incident or series of things that have happened to us begin to repeat in our minds, and we play the tapes over and over again. Every time we do that, we're taking the past and we're pulling it into the present. A lot of times we see the actual incident played over, and our emotions once again go through the trauma, and we re-experience that negative or destructive or unhelpful memory. And so I've noticed that over the years, I've gotten a little better at forgetting. And it's a little bit of a art form or a discipline. Probably 25 years ago, I did a Tony Robbins Firewalk workshop in Los Angeles. And it was a weekend event and talked about a lot of stuff. But one of the things he talked about was a science or pseudoscience called neuro-linguistic programming. And he spoke a lot about that in his book, I think, Ultimate Unlimited Power, I think it was, when he wrote it when he was a young guy. And the idea is we take the thoughts that we have and we begin to examine them. And then if they're voices that come back in our recollections and memories, it's just one aspect of it. We can choose to think about that memory. And as that memory is being described, the voice that we hear in our mind, we can change the tone of it. And so it's not speaking in terms of a voice of authority and power, but rather take the power out of it. And again, this is getting back to this idea of learning how to forget things that weren't helpful for us now. They did happen to us. These can be voices in our heads that we've repeatedly stated to ourselves over and over again that are not helpful. They're self-critical, condemning, putting us down. There was a cartoon about it, and I can't remember the name of it, but there were little items, little cartoon characters on the shoulder of this character in the movie, and then one was a little negative one that always picked on the person in this little animated film that was out recently, a couple of years back, I guess. They're always picking at us. And sometimes we are our worst critic. As an artist, in particular, I think myself for sure included, we tend to be very critical about ourselves and about how we're doing things, how we're performing in our art and craft, maybe, let's say. And there's an aspect of critiquing that's good, but it can also get into a very destructive pattern of tearing ourselves down. And so it's really important that we learn to change the tone. That's that NLP stuff, neuro-linguistic programming. Change the sound of that voice in our heads that is speaking to us and putting us down. Make it sound like Mickey Mouse is criticizing us. You're really a dummy. You're really stupid. You don't know anything. And it takes the power out of it. And you can do that, as you begin to walk down your day in the morning, let's say, and you're starting to hear those voices come in there that are kind of critical, or someone in your family says something that's hard on you and cutting you down or whatever, and the memory starts to roll. You can play that tape in your mind and try to change the sound of the voice, and that takes the power out of it. That was just one of the things I remember from that weekend with Tony Robbins, which was really pretty wild. And I did walk on the hot coals, which I think I've said before. Didn't get burned. Pretty crazy. But it's really important that we learn to practice and get better at forgetting the things that have happened in our lives that have not, that are not now helping us, and it doesn't help us to remember them. There's a balancing act here to play, because we don't want to forget everything that's happened to us, because it really, what's happened to us is making us who we are. But I'm talking about when it's pretty obvious, and we can assess that ourselves in our own walk down the road of life. Are these memories that I'm experiencing, or when I have this negative thought come up and it triggers a memory of the past, is that helping me move forward in life? Is that bringing me more peace, more joy, more sense of less stress, less fear, less anxiety? Is that kind of a thing going on? And if you're processing that memory in a way that's leading to more of a letting go of the fear, the anxiety, and the self-critiquing that's maybe involved in that, and it's helping you however you're doing that, that's great. But if it's not, we need to learn how to let go of these things and take the power out of them and throw it away. Give it to God. A lot of the stuff that I think that happens in us, you need to have God in there. So for me, I'm a Christian, and I let that come in, and I say, Lord, you take this stuff, help me to not keep playing these old tapes, remembering these old things that happened to me, these old wounds and stuff. So the Spirit just led me to talk a little bit about that tonight. And I hope that is helpful to you in some fashion. We need to start forgetting the things that aren't helping us. When we remember stuff, especially if we bring it back in its full power, and we re-experience the emotional pain of that memory, that's bringing the past into the present. And we're human. That process occurs. I'm not trying to say, if that's happening in your life or has happened, that you're doing anything bad or wrong. Of course not. There's no condemnation in what I'm saying. It's just, I have noticed that as I've gotten older, and maybe my brain's more tired of these old tapes. I don't know. But it's been great to be able to have those memories begin to fade into the distance. They're not as brightly colored. Again, that's the NLP thing, take the colors out of these pictures and images and videos that might play in your mind and stuff. And you can think about that and direct your thoughts to take that color out of that picture, change the voice. If the voice that's coming through that memory, that's a negative one, turn it into Mickey Mouse, change it into a less threatening or less powerful voice. It happened. It's over. That was part of our journey and our story, but it's really important to not continue to allow those negative thoughts to come into us. And again, you're pulling the past into the present. Now, if you had victories and good things, bring those back. That's always good to remember. You did well. You succeeded. You overcame adversity or difficulties. That's awesome. Those things, I think, if we remember them, they help bolster us up. They help give us courage and help remind us that we have gotten through some hard things, and therefore we can continue moving forward with courage. So anyways, just thought I'd throw that out to you guys, for whatever it's worth. Ponder that. But yeah, if we can get rid of our negative thoughts and we can forget them, as it were, in quotes, they'll always be there. But the idea is to have them fade away in potency and power and impact on our present moment of life. This is all we have. Any moment you can just be gone. Life is a mist and a vapor. The Bible talks about that. And we're given each day as a gift. And we want to try not to allow those past experiences that we went through that were negative and not helpful for us now, to get in the way of our joy right now, to get in the way of our happiness, to get in the way of our successful approach to our lives. Business owners, we want to be able to come from a spirit of kindness, respect to our staff, to our employees, our vendors. And if you can have a little bit of joy in there, the world is hungry for folks who have joy in the midst of these storms of life. That's an amazing, powerful thing. And if you get God into your heart, that's really that undergirds our ability to do that. We can do a lot of things in our own minds with our own humanness, but it's nice when you bring in the power of God. And for me, Christian, the Holy Spirit comes in, and that is the place where I can push some of these hard burdens and give them to God. We're not supposed to run this whole show, this whole race by ourselves. We're not supposed to carry all these burdens on our shoulders. It's too much. We're not made for that. And lastly, we are here for a purpose. We're not here by accident. And God has a plan for your life, and it is a good one. As bad as life may be in the midst of the moment right now for you, or as maybe it's going great. We want to remember, though, it's a gift from God each day, the breath that we take in our lungs. So hope that helped you a little bit and gave you a little bit something to think about. So let's forget the bad stuff, as it were, fade it away. We won't ever totally forget it, but it's there. But bringing the past into the present and in some negative story, I'm not sure how much that helps us. Maybe the one caveat might be that when we tell our stories about our journey, we can inspire others with that story. So I guess that'd be the one place where bringing back that situation that you went through, your journey in life, can be inspirational and tell other folks out there that, hey, you're not the only one that has had hard times, and there's always something worse that folks have been through than we ourselves pretty much have. So anyway, Mr. Dave here in the office on a Sunday. Hope you had a great weekend. And if you have any questions or thoughts on my ramblings, let me know. Otherwise, God bless you guys. And well, if I come up with something else, as the spirit moves, I will punch the little buttons on my little computer here and throw it out there and see what you think. So anyway, have a great day. Have a great week coming up, you guys. God bless you. Happy Easter week past. He is risen. Yeah, Jesus is coming back. Get ready. Get him in your heart. He'll clean you out, clean all the gunk and junk. Walk with you in this life in these crazy times. So you won't be alone. He's always really been around there. He's just waiting for you to ask for him to come into your heart. And forgiveness, really important. Humility, really important. And because he's going to take us all to heaven, but you got to get cleaned up, because you can't be in the presence of perfection, which is God, if you ain't perfect. And we human beings are not perfect, for sure. So anyway, God bless you guys until you see on the next one. Have a good one, and hello out there. And I don't know how to pronounce that name there. So thanks for somebody's out there watching me. That's good. Have a great day. God bless. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.